Hello, WordNerds! Happy Sunday! It is October 11th, which means we are officially 20 days within NaNoWriMo. Yes, 20 more days, and then it's time to sit down and strap into your manuscript because here we come! Tonight's live chat is going to be focused primarily, exclusively on NaNoWriMo and prepping you for this wonderful month, which will be full of hectic fun times. And if you guys have any questions about writing NaNoWriMo stuff, etc., leave them below. We are going to be checking the comments, also on Twitter at YAWordNerds, in case you didn't know. So leave your questions. We'll be here to answer them. Not all night. I almost said all night. For some parts of the night. And I don't know where we're starting tonight, but how about we start with how are we feeling getting ready for Nano? What are we doing to prepare ourselves mentally and also like manuscript-wise?
I was hoping you guys would tell me how to prepare. I got nothing.
Yeah,
I'm like internally screaming, and there's like a library in my head, and it's on fire.
I don't even know what I'm writing in November.
Well, I do know that. I am prepared in that regard.
I'm not preparing for Nano so much as I'm trying to get finished my current project so I can start something new. So that's going to be down to the wire, but we'll see.
I believe in you,
with
Kaylin.
you. I believe. We got
I believe in you
this.
too, Megan.
Aw, shucks.
So are you guys almost done what you're writing now, or
Yeah.
how
I've
far
got
out?
about 10,000 words left.
Yeah, it depends. Like, in my head, I want to stop at 90,000, but considering I'm already at 75,000, and I'm about halfway through, so either I'm going to cut a lot out, or, I mean, I'm not halfway. I'm a little bit further than halfway through, but I still have a lot left to actually, like, flesh out and write, so I might have to cut back a lot or just skyrocket my word count. I don't want to do either, but we'll see.
I mean, you can skyrocket during the first draft and then go back and be like, oh, so here's what I need to cut.
It's so much easier to cut stuff out than add stuff in.
Yeah.
I think it is too.
Gosh,
You can only like flesh out a story so much before you're like, okay, we're really struggling here. We're pulling it as tight as we can. It's super watered down, but cutting things, it hurts. It hurts your soul, but you don't have to come up with something new.
Yeah. I always have to add new things. Like, this is going to be the longest manuscript I've ever written, and it's going to clock in at about 70,000 words. So,
Pretty good.
I'm, like, excited that maybe for the first time ever I'll actually be able to cut stuff.
Yeah, I'm not very wordy in first drafts.
I'm overly wordy.
Yes, thank you, Kaylin.
Definitely overly wordy. On purpose. Like, some parts are, like, really badly overly worded, though. It's like, so I have a very specific image in my head, so I describe everything in detail that I see, but not in, like, a poetic detail. It's like, the chair is red, the curtains are green. And then I'll go back in on the second draft and actually make that sound like something somebody else would want to read.
Add a dash of word magic, and it's beautiful. That's how I usually go. My first draft is always wordy, but my second first draft that, like, still it's only seen by me, is also wordier because I'm like, this needs to be cleaner and better explained. And then I'm like, oh, now you're definitely super over where you should be. Oops. How did that happen? But I mean, I guess for Nano, it's so much better to be over your word count than under.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like that stress of seeing the bar graph, like, the line is way above you, and you're like, wait,
I know.
I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah. So does anyone know what they're working on for Nano?
I'm probably going to work
No
on
idea.
the same project I am now, because I am not close to finishing. So, lovely, dark, and deep for me.
I know that I want to do a contemporary, but I have a couple of different ideas, and I haven't fleshed out either one, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing.
You should put them in a jar and then shake it, and then pick.
Yeah.
Because for like the past 3 months while I've been writing this fantasy, I'm like, I just really want to write a contemporary, but I'm like forcing myself to finish this one first. So I've known for a while that that's what I wanted to do. Like probably since camp in July, I knew that in November I wanted to do a contemporary.
We're twins. I'm doing a contemporary too, which
Yeah?
is so out of my wheelhouse. I'm really nervous.
I did. I think 2 years ago I tried a contemporary. Never written anything contemporary before for Nano, and I think I got like 10,000 words in, and I'm like, screw this, I'm done. I can do real life things without some type of a magical element.
That's what I tried to do last Nano. I was going to do 2 projects at once because I'm stupid. And I was like doing 1,000 to 2,000 in each project for like the first 2 days, and then like I can't, so I picked the paranormal one and kept going with that. But
yeah, I'm kind of excited. I have some like a cast of characters that I'm really excited about. And the plot has like the potential for tension. I'm just not sure where I'm gonna take it yet, so it feels like I don't have a plot yet. But that can be worked out in the next few weeks.
you freewheel it.
I really like the characters, so.
And they will drive you. They will.
Yeah.
They'll start to, go that way, and you'll be like, all right, taking the scenic route.
Yeah. Let's see where this happens to go.
We've already got some comments. Thank you, everybody, for watching. By the way, by my count, we already have 25 people watching right now. Maybe.
Yeah.
So if you're just tuning in, welcome. This chat is all about NaNoWriMo prep, obviously, by the title, and how to get ready for the craziest, most exciting month of the year for writers. We're writers specifically, because I love October, and also Christmas is in December. But November is all about writing. We have a bunch of comments already. People have been waiting for the whole week, tuning in for the first time live. So many word nerds here. Happy nerds.
Right.
Nerdy. I'm here this week. Hello, everybody. Jody says to prepare for Nano, she's working on upping daily word count thanks to the write-ins that we've been posting some Sundays, which, by the way, you can go back and rewatch. Just because we're not live doesn't mean the timer is any different.
I still keep an eye on all the comments on them. So if you want to add a question, I will probably find it and answer it.
Megan made it. Catherine said she's so hyped plotting out using the 3-act system, which Megan's talked a lot about. Also, I believe Kaylin's done a few videos on that, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And character fleshing out, mentally screaming and dancing from excitement. There's a lot of screaming in my head.
Yeah.
Like, resting face might look calm, but inside it's just, I'm sure that's fine. Catherine also had a question. Recently stopped plotting original idea because it became boring to me and really cliche. Thank God I have another idea I love. How do I force myself to continue writing when I don't like the idea anymore? There are 2 answers to this. One is to, if you really don't like it, it might be okay to set it down. And the other is asking yourself, like, do you really not like the idea, or do you, like, are you at a part that's difficult to write where you're like, I don't want to write this. I want to write all of the other things that aren't this. So if if you figure out that you really, really don't like the idea, I think it's okay to step away. Am I all right to say that?
No, you're good. I think what I do to try to determine if I'm really just sick of the story right now versus if I really shouldn't be writing the story is I try to think about if I would miss like the characters or the plot if I just never picked it up again. And if it feels like really awful thinking about not finishing it, then I know that it's just that I'm feeling lazy right now and I don't want to finish it. Yeah. But if it is really like, no, it's okay if they sit in a drawer. Maybe I'll recycle some of them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Then I know that it's time.
I took 2 stories that I wasn't feeling a whole lot of either one individually, and I combined them into one story, and that's what I'm writing right now, and I love it. So, like, if you are stuck, get to one of those scenes that you really, really want to write, and do that first. And then if by that time you're still really not feeling it, then I would say sit it to the side. Never delete anything, but just sit it to the side. You never know when you'll either A, go back to that story and start liking it and start wanting to finish it, or just combining it with another story that you've written too.
Nobody says you can't like take apart the story that you're writing now for parts and then put it with your other manuscripts, because theoretically what you're writing you want to be really excited about, because if you're not excited about you know, like what you're writing, the readers might not be excited either. But if you take everything you love and smush it together, you might make a great manuscript that might need to be toned down later, but you know, for a first draft, you got it. Just
in my Polaris Awakening anthology short story, in the first draft, one of the kiss scenes was straight up copy and pasted from a kiss scene in a trunked manuscript.
See?
I don't love writing romantic stuff. I didn't at the time. I'm getting better at it.
Let's see, a lot more comments. Stephanie said she's doing the same thing when we were talking about finishing current manuscripts, so we have a fresh start in November. Stephanie says she's then aiming on working on plotting out NaNoWriMo projects. Catherine said doing a story based off of something called maladaptive daydreaming or excessive daydreaming, and it's going to be a creepy story and is inspired by the movie Coraline. Oh boy. Where there's an underground world, and yeah, it's not completely finished yet, but really excited. That sounds so cool.
I love the book Coraline. I haven't seen the movie. I'm sure the movie is great. I haven't.
And the movie is creepy. I watched it and was like,
the button eyes. Oh my
god. The button eyes. Jody says for Nano, she has 2 story ideas. Went to Thunder from Down Under last night. That is an interesting. For those who don't know what Thunder Down Under is, that's like a male it's like Magic Mike, but they're like Australian. That's the best way to explain it quickly. And another idea came into her head. I'm wondering what that idea is.
Please elaborate.
Megan said she's gonna, not this Megan, but in the comments, Megan, is going to work on a project called Imperfect Perfection, where this girl at the start of her senior year decides to start putting herself out there, begins to get everything she wants, but during the perfect moments she's dreamed about, something goes terribly amiss, and she has to try to figure out what a perfect moment actually is. Vixen is doing her first NaNoWriMo this year. We're so excited for you to do it. You're going to love it and also maybe hate it a little bit, but in a good way. Like, there's that, I love it, of why am I doing this to myself, that sometimes goes through everybody's mind.
And then on December 1st, it's like, that was really hard. When is November coming again?
Yeah, but I did it. I survived. Kind of really cool. So, Die Facing Her Foe says, I don't think I'll be able to finish my current project before Nano. School is hard. School is hard. I might just have to continue it for Nano, which I really hate doing because I like starting a new thing. Don't worry, I'm working on what I'm working on now in November, so it's okay to do. It can be fun to start new, but also, like, if you already have written already in the story, it feels easier because you're like, I already have all of that behind me. Rather smart.
And I feel like if you write 50,000 words, you write 50,000 words.
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah, you win.
I don't care if you start a new project or not.
A Rather Smart Llama wants to know if we're doing virtual write-ins more often during Nano. Yes.
A lot more often.
That probably is going to be, like, most of our Sunday topics will be write-in and, like, a little bit of check-ins about, like, how are we doing? Is everybody okay?
And maybe we can sneak them in during the week as well, like we did during.
Yeah.
They're always so helpful.
You'll be getting some fun content
Speaking
in
of,
November.
Yeah.
Go.
Should
Do
we
it,
talk
Megan.
about that?
Do it.
Do it.
So, in July, we partnered with NaNoWriMo and made content for them for Camp NaNoWriMo, and we are going to be doing content for them again in November. So, on November 1st, you will hear us live chatting on this channel, and you will also get to see a video of us on NaNoWriMo's channel.
So if you haven't subscribed to the NaNoWriMo YouTube, go and
Or to
do
us.
it.
Or to us.
Or to us, because we're, yeah. If
Yeah.
you're new here, we'd love to have you stick around and ask us things. Because
Yeah.
we are here to talk to you.
NaNoWriMo YouTube channel is called the Office of Letters and Light. It's the nonprofit that runs NaNoWriMo. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Is the
Thumbs
YouTube
up.
title. I know they run NaNoWriMo.
And let's never forget, that in November we're all going to YALLFest. So there will be some really exciting content coming up November, probably through December, that will
I expect so.
Yeah.
YALLFest in South Carolina because we're all going to be there.
You will
Even
get to
Aaron.
see live chats where all of us are in the same room.
Can you believe it? We might have a write-in while we're all there. Guys, because we're going to have to get some work done still in November at YALLFest. I'm just saying, as an idea.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll have to, like, focus and sit down and be like, okay, behave and write something. Everybody.
If you guys are going to YALLFest, let us know. Because if there's enough of you, we could meet up at a bookstore or something.
Yeah, we'll do, like, a group hang meetup.
I know there's already 3 or 4 who said they're going, so...
Let's get a gang going. Let's get a big,
Yeah.
micro mob.
Yes, my favorite kind of
A
mob.
literary micro mob.
Small enough that I'm not like, everybody get away from me. Big enough that I'm like, yes, these are my people. Because that would be so much fun. Because we're going and so excited. And, November's just going to be so much of everything.
All the things. Yeah. I'm sure we'll re-announce that later for anyone who comes in.
Yep. We're up to 32 people watching live right now, so if you're just joining us, hello, good evening, happy Sunday. 20 days until Nano. We're talking about Nano Prep. If you've got a question, ask it below. If you're new here, subscribe. We've got write-ins and stuff, and you know, if you like to write, you might like us. Just throwing that out there. We've got a comment from Janessa. She's writing a fantasy novel for Nano, and world building is kicking her butt. I feel ya. Trying to flesh out this main country that I'm writing, but one of the other countries is begging to be written. I have people depending on me to finish things for the first country, so I'm going nuts. Also, high school. Enough said. High school. Enough said.
All right.
Yep. Got you there. Layla says, is there such a thing as too much plotting / when should one stop plotting? I feel like our opinions on this would differ.
I was going to say, I think it varies author to author. Like, it's not...
And even story to story.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
I'll, like, hella plot for one story, and then for another story, I'm like, this is all I need. Any more?
Yeah. I think, in general, for everyone, you need to be able to recognize when it is that you're using plotting as a way to procrastinate writing the story. But for everyone, that's a different point in the plotting process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there does come a point where it starts to feel kind of like, oh, well, this would be kind of fun, but my character can't do that because the plot says they have to go that way. And if you ever think that, you need to reevaluate your plot. Yeah, you have plotted too much.
Yeah, I always suggest, like, if you want a plot, that's awesome, but never be so tied to your plot that you, like, are forcing things to happen that way, because it's probably, like, you're probably having to force it for a reason and not a good reason. So be flexible and, like, think every now and then to, like, look around at what you've written and be like, should we keep going that way or should we take the left at this fork? Maybe left, even though it says go right.
I have a segue from this. So over this week, I asked on Twitter for anyone to give advice to anyone doing Nano for the first time, but pretty much all the advice applies to anyone doing Nano ever. And one of the pieces of advice from Matthew Wright was, plan first, be ready to revise the plan as the story flows, and don't get discouraged. And then Chelsea suggested, commit fully. There will be hard days, and you will want to give up, but the feeling of finishing is worth it.
Yes.
Tim suggested, do not stress. 50,000 is only a goal, not a binding contract. Write what can be written.
Good.
Cynthia Flippers suggested to at least have an idea of what you want to write so you're not staring at a blank page on the first day. Do a rough outline. And then I have one more piece somewhere else on my feed. Hannah suggested get as far ahead as possible during the first week. It will help you write later on during the month, and I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. If
You're
you
so
can get ahead of the
enthusiastic in
game.
the first week, use it.
Yeah, and then if you get tired and have days that, like, you have to miss for some reason, you're not like, oh my god, my Nano word count is destroyed. And, you know, that's not, it never is actually destroyed, it just feels like that. But falling behind is sometimes hard to like get yourself out of that rut once you're in there. So if you get really far ahead, you're like, I've got this. Look at all I've done already. My first nano that I did, I was never much of a plotter, and I'm still like iffy on plots. Every now and then I'll super plot something. But my first nano, I plotted just enough to write for the next day. So I'd plot what I was writing, and then like before I finished for the day, write out what was going to happen next in the next chapter, so that when I had to go and sit down to write the next day, I'm not like, now what? Question mark. Help me. Void in space. Anybody? Plot how you can. Everybody's different. Lots of comments. Tamara says, I've just decided that I'm going to write my companion to my current work in progress for Nano. I think they're both going to happen during the same time frame. Awesome. Dana says her NaNoWriMo project is a YA high fantasy following an assassin. Yes! Sorry. Who has to kill the heir to the throne, but gets stuck in a love triangle with a prince and princess.
Ooh.
Yes.
I love that. I want that to be a book already.
And I'm so excited, making a lot of headway on the outline. Yes. If you outline early, you don't have to do it in November. Just take this time to prep. The theme of tonight's chat. We're giving you 20 days to prepare. Die Facing Our Foes says, the only time I get writing done is during our write-ins. Can't figure out how to get it into your schedule. Well, you can always just set, set out just like a little nook of time when you could be like, I'm going to watch a WordNerd video and then write a chapter.
We will probably try to do another write-in before November starts for those of us who are frantically trying to finish projects.
And you can use that time to prep. If you're not writing anything, you can use it to work on your outline.
I guess you guys are invited too.
Let's see. Finished current project at 1:30 this morning. Now ready to prep. And
Yay!
So Susan says she's sick, so that's all I'll say tonight. Oh, feel better, Susan. We hope you're.
Susan was sick last week too.
At least you finished your current project. So that's at least, that's something.
One phrase.
Hannah says, hi guys, I'm doing a young adult, new adult sci-fi called Counterparts about a world where certain individuals have their soul split and housed into robotic partners and then compete in championships. Things go amiss when the main characters split between her and her counterpart heals, and her partner becomes her own individual with her own agenda and growing soul. Kind of Northern Lights meets Tron meets a bunch of animes/mangas. It's an old idea that I've attempted before, but want to finish this time. That's awesome.
Ooh.
Have you read that book? I have only read a couple of chapters. It's called What's Left of...
What's Left of Me?
Is that what it is? Yeah, the one with the two souls, or like one.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Yeah.
I'm
only a few chapters into that, but it's on my Kindle once I get my Kindle charged. Layla says, so excited to see us again. We're the greatest. Thanks, Layla. Thanks for being here. So excited to have you.
We love you.
Jody wants to say, help spread the word about tonight's show when she was in the Corner Booth's chat room, told everyone what the topic was and to come on over. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just a reminder, you can ask all of the questions in the comments below. We are trying to answer as many as we can. And hopefully we're helping you. Other people might have questions that you have the same question for, so ask it. Many people will be answered in one go, hopefully, theoretically. Hannah says she has a big cast of characters because plot features an international tournament. That would be a big cast. Should I plan them out now or let some of them pop up as I go? Won't necessarily have them all appear directly, but they will get mentioned. Have a list of names. At least a list of names.
That's what I'm doing for the contemporary I'm writing, because a lot of it's going to take place at school. And so I'm just going to have like the group of like the honors students or whatever, because that's where the main character is. And there's gonna be just like those 25 names. And if I need someone, I'm just gonna pull a name.
I mean, that's like what takes the most time for me is naming people. Because like you want like cool names, but not something that's like, okay, we get it. All of these people have great names, and they're like, so you want like realistic,
So interesting.
for whatever world you're writing. And I'll spend like forever looking for names that sound cool that I can pronounce. That's important to me, is being able to pronounce my own characters. And like I can just pull them if I need. Like, crap, I need another character, so I don't spend forever on it.
I love those contemporary books where all the characters have like really like trendy like hipster names.
Like Bo and Edith. And...
Bo and Edith with a Y. Edith with a Y.
Well, depending on what page you're on. But yeah, it's always, I definitely at least plan out names because you can adapt personalities on the fly. Whereas, like, if you're researching names during Nano, you don't want to, like, spend time. You got to keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. Megan says she's not plotting for this project because she's so excited to write it that she'll do great in NaNoWriMo, but feel like if I try plotting it now, the excitement will fade. Pantsing.
It's a thing. Yeah.
Sometimes it's a way to go, you know? And it's fun to try out once if you've never done it before. Stephanie wants to know, how do we plot our projects? Do we do note cards, mapping, fence posts, or something else? How about we go down the line? So we'll go with Kaylin first, because Kaylin
I am a plotter. I do just about everything. The first thing I do is I use beat sheets to kind of, it's the same sense as doing it with note cards, but it's a little bit more structured, and it tells you, it's more like a blueprint that tells you a generalized what needs to happen and where it's going to happen. I don't stick to it to a T, but it's definitely that kick-starting moment where everything just starts falling into place. And then I have a whole process after that, but I always start with a B sheet.
And by the way, Kaylin has an entire video on how she plots, which I'm sure it's changed over time. But if you go back through our history of all of the videos that we have, you'll see that, oh, it's there.
It's there. It's very special and long.
It is. Emma, how do you plot?
I am not very like structured in my plotting, but I do. I usually like do like the 4-part story structure so I can figure out like the big moments, the big milestones, and what needs to be happening in the different parts of the book. And then I just have a notebook where I just like make notes. Like usually, like every, I don't know how often, but like every like couple or few chapters, I'll take a second to write down, like, these are the things that need to happen next, and I'll just, like, write them in order of, like, the things I want to have happen next, and then I go and write them. So it's not very, I don't do, like, index cards. I probably should, but...
I mean,
they're fun every now and then.
What works for you? Kelly?
I don't have any formal strategy for it. I pretty much experiment with new ways to plot every time I write a book, but I'm tending to lean towards just having like basic outlines on Evernote because I like physically plotting, but I don't like how much of a pain it is to change anything as I make changes to the story. Then you have to go back and rewrite all the cards. So I've started just kind of writing out plot points and then kind of bolding which ones will start chapters as far as I think, and then I can just change things as I go. So I try to be pretty flexible with it, but I am playing with it more, so that may change.
Megan? Another big plotter.
I love plotting. I like to, lately I've been trying to start more with character so that my characters don't feel as driven by the plot. So I like to come up with kind of like the basic desires of the main characters and the major secondary characters. And then I use 3-act to come up with like, okay, well this is the inciting incident, this is plot point 1, plot point 2, and the end. And then from there, I kind of basically just do what Emma does, and I just have a notebook, and I keep a really long list of all the potential scenes. And I actually like writing them out over and over and over again. Like if one thing changes, I like to rewrite out all the scenes because it helps like solidify the plot in my mind, and it helps me notice things.
Does it turn into a claw when you write? Because that's what happens to me. I write like,
it's not too bad. It's not too bad for me.
2 pages of handwritten notes, and my hand is shot.
Yeah,
I love it.
But I push through.
About 1 for me, and I'm like, I can't read my own handwriting anymore because it's just like scribbling.
Well, I can't read my handwriting in the beginning. Terrible handwriting.
Oh, well, that's a different problem. For me, how I plot, it's a little bit of everything. Primarily, like Megan has been doing recently, I usually start with a character and then a concept. So like the project I'm working on right now and will also still be working on during Nano takes the idea of sirens out of the water and puts them in the woods. So instead of luring sailors to their death, they lure hunters to their death. And it's coming up to more things than that as I'm working on it. And because it's kind of it's a new adult, really dark fantasy, and I've been plotting because some aspects of it have been more complex than I've expected, just thinking about the idea. So the first thing I did was, like, I know where I'm starting and I know where I'm finishing because I want this to be one book, Crouch, one book, okay? And so I had the beginning and the end, so the inciting incident and conclusion, and then on the computer I just wrote kind of mini paragraphs about what can happen throughout, and then comes in the notebook, which I then wrote out the plot and didn't really have, once I started plotting, I hated my ending, so I have one page that is just brainstorming for the ending of multiple possibilities and scenarios that could happen, and now I think I have it pretty much done. So I have a mini paragraph for every 1 to 2 chapters. The paragraph isn't necessarily one chapter only, and then I just paste it in a note section in Scrivener, and then copy that paragraph and paste it in the little side section of the chapter I'm writing so I can look over it and reference what needs to happen now. And then I italicize that part in my plot notes to be like, okay, it's finished, you've written it, time to move on. But I think if you're looking for more detailed explanations of how we plot, I know Kaylin has 2 videos. Megan had one video where she did this really cool note card on the wall with strings, and it was great.
That was revisions.
That was revisions.
But it was my plot.
It was plot.
I was reworking a lot of my plot.
It also made an appearance in our Friends video.
Wow. I need to rewatch that video.
That's a good video. Every couple days, just play it again. More comments. Caitlin, so excited this will be her first NaNoWriMo. Finished her outline, not really sure what to expect. Any tips on how to keep yourself motivated? Because I've done Camp NaNoWriMo before and I always get distracted. So tips about staying motivated and focused for Nano.
Get involved in the community. The greatest thing about Nano is how many other people are writing at the same time. So check out the forums, follow the hashtag on Twitter. There's so much you can do just to see that other people are doing this with you and they are all moving forward and you want to be going and writing with them, and it's just such a cool feeling.
Yeah, and use us too. We love you guys, and if you've commented on our videos before, we recognize your name and we know who you are, and we love talking with you guys. I do it in a creepy way.
No, it might be in a creepy way.
Also, let someone know, someone in your real life that you see every day, let them know what you're doing. And tell them to check in with you, because that's what helps me the most, is when I have someone that I see in person be like, oh, how did your writing go today? And then if I'm like, it didn't go at all, then I feel really embarrassed.
For shame.
I've got to say something better than that, so I guess I'll get to work now.
I was just about to go work on it right now.
One of our, in the writing group that I'm in, one of the people was working on trying to finish up revisions, and she actually had me email her every day. She gave me a schedule of where she wanted to be, and so I emailed her every day and was like, hey, you read that scene today? Hey girl, did you do that?
Just have people to hold you hostage to what you need to do. Also, what I used to always do is I always had NaNoWriMo, the website, pulled up on my laptop, so that when I opened it, I would be greeted immediately by that graph. And I love and hate the graph, but I love it because I see it and I'm like, I need to keep it going. I love the way when it keeps going higher and higher and it's above the line that you have to hit. I'm like, yes, you've got this. That's the most motivating thing for me is I'll bring your graph. I will
Definitely.
beat it. I'll
It's
best it.
Nobody else cares about my graph. I care a lot about
I
my
care so much.
I blog an inordinate amount in NaNoWriMo about my graph.
It's
I like to put it
important,
on
and they
top
look
of
so
previous
pretty.
year's graphs.
They look so pretty, and it's just like when you see how far you've come from the beginning of the month, like if you keep looking at your word count and you're like, wow, I'm already at 20,000 words. Look how cool that is. Like, for me, that just feels so cool, and just like, you know, you're like, I'm going to do even better tomorrow because blah, 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 look at this chart, and it says that I only have to write 700 words a day now to finish on time, but I'm going to do better than that. So it's weird self-competition. Also, remember why you love and why you decided to start writing this project, because that can be really motivating to keep working on it, especially during the middle of the month when you start to have that, like, you know, petering out of, I'm so tired, I don't want to write anymore. Remember why you loved it and why you started. Maybe write yourself a note at the beginning about, like, this is why you are doing this, and then reread it and be like, yeah, I do love these characters, so I'll push through and stay focused. And don't let, you know, the internet be too distracting. That's tempting.
Yes.
Easier said than done.
Definitely easier said than done. If you're gonna spend like internet time, set a timer and do like try to do productive things on the internet. Like if you need motivation, come and watch our videos, or go and watch the videos on NaNoWriMo's YouTube, which remember we'll be on. We'll see you there too.
Every Sunday.
Yeah, man. And then check in with like the NaNoWriMo hashtag on Twitter and that kind of stuff. That's like you're on the internet, but you're kind of like getting ready to be motivated to write and work.
I tell myself that anyway. You know, I'm just going to jump on Twitter. I follow all writers, so it's kind of like, you know, my ritual.
I'm basically writing.
30 minutes goes by, and it's like, I've done nothing. What's on Tumblr?
Yeah, you do the cycle, and you're like, I'm just going to check Instagram real quick, and then, like, you can't really explain this as spending time on work. I primarily just follow ballerinas and dogs on Instagram, so I'm like, are you doing something productive or just looking at pictures of dogs? Because it feels like it's just the pictures of dogs. Lots more comments. Thank you, everyone, for watching, by the way. Again, ask your questions below. We're getting around to as many as we can. This one's a comment from Catherine. Thing about her NaNoWriMo novel is her main character is 11/12-year-old boy who daydreams, and when he does, he's basically living as himself, but the alternate version of himself in this underground world. But when he's brought back to the actual world, he has no idea that he was daydreaming about was actually happening. Title's going to be Step 3, Breathe. Ooh. Megan realized that she might need to plot out a little bit of what she's going to write. Going to be writing high school dances and everything without ever having been to a high school dance. Oh dear. Oh, just watch any movie or TV show. It's
80s movies have great high school dances.
Unfortunately, pretty much here's a high school dance. In the girls' bathroom, everybody's crying. Or something dramatic is happening. On the dance floor, people are standing really close together, primarily in the center of the dance mob, and then the people on the outside are really awkward because that's where the chaperones are. It's dark, it's hot, it's sweaty, the music is loud, and there's nothing good to eat or drink unless you like little baby bottles of water. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah. We did like an anti-prom, if you're doing like a contemporary and you want to put something fun like that in. It was called Mort.
There you go.
Like, they just rented the dance hall and it was like all the scene kids or whatever, because I thought I was a scene kid in high school.
I would have liked to know you in high school, maybe. I bet we would have been great friends.
Yeah.
Oh my god, imagine all the word nerds in high school.
Oh, it was...
Future topic.
And an awkward time was had by all.
I mean, I didn't say middle school, so it wasn't that awkward. It wasn't like seventh grade.
It could be worse.
7th grade was the...
I don't know, man. You haven't seen the pants that I wore in high school.
Were they like the Hot Topic pants?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
was going to say this.
I still wear them.
Well, the legs of the pants were like this much bigger than my feet, and just 2 words:
Perfect.
pink corduroy.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all right. I was mostly in middle school. I was very into like the largest hoodies you could ever find. I'm a small person, so I'm like, let's buy an XXL adult sweatshirt. And I'm like,
The logical choice.
I look so great. Oh boy, we're not okay. We're getting back on topic here. Megan H, different Megan in the comments. Do we have any supplies we recommend that are helpful for Nano? Scrivener.
Yes.
Does that count as a supply?
I think it does because it's vital. It's like the most important thing in my writing process is Scrivener because you can do everything.
Yeah, and
you didn't even know that you could do. You can do.
You can do everything, and you can get a free month trial of Scrivener. So don't get it yet, but get it like maybe the day before November. And here's a trick I learned that worked for me at least. If I never quit Nano, or if I never quit Scrivener, rather like exited the program, it didn't know what day it was. And I'm like, good, my trial will never end. But then,
if you win Nano, you get 50% off of Scrivener.
And
which
it's
makes it only like $20. If you don't know what Scrivener is, it's kind of like a fancy word processor for writers. They make it so you can do like note card style, there's folders. It's amazing. Erica did a video on Scrivener a while back. I will find it and put it in the comments.
A very long while back. I feel like we need to do another one on that. Who wants to do a Scrivener video? Who's got that?
Attempted.
I feel like Kaylin is the most knowledgeable.
She's the Scrivener queen of us now. Scrivener is definitely helpful, and it's good, like, also, Dropbox, if you open a thing in Dropbox, these aren't technically supplies, but they're things we'd recommend. If you save your file directly to Dropbox, you will never lose it, especially on Scrivener, because Scrivener saves like every 2 seconds, and it will back up automatically to your Dropbox account. And you can get a free Dropbox account up to like a certain space limit. And I've got a crazy amount of things in mine, and I'm still like just starting to get warnings of like, your Dropbox is full, and I'm like, shut up. I know.
Erica's video for Scrivener is in the comments now, so if you want to
I think as far as actual supplies go, notebook and a pen, that's like vital, because even when you're not at your computer and you can't plug out like words constantly, you might have ideas, because during Nano, you're doing nothing but writing, so your head is constantly in that space of the world that you're creating, so you never know when a scene is going to come up, and after a while, like, if you write on a napkin, the ink's going to expand, and you're not going to be able to understand what it says, so bring a notebook and a pen everywhere with you the entire month.
Yeah, it's definitely much easier to do that than, like, have a bag of receipts with multiple ideas, and you're like, wait,
what does any of this mean?
Yeah, and also, you know, if you have something on your phone, I used to wake up in the middle of the night and write notes to myself. Try to be as coherent as possible while you write these notes that make sense, if possible, because I have one that just says titanium arm, or one says Santa potato. I don't know what that means. Is that an autocorrect, or did I want to write something about a Santa potato? I don't know. So notebooks are definitely helpful. No autocorrect there. But, you know, if you're not specific, it'll get confusing. Also, highlighters or colored pens if you want to, like, color coordinate. If you're nerdy like I am, if you like it nerdy. I do a lot of, like, highlighting important things of, like, this has to happen, or, like, I'll separate certain characters maybe by different pen colors or marker colors. To be like,
I separate different things. So, like, dialogue will be one color, like, scene description will be another color, characters will be another color. Anything that comes to my mind has a specific color set to it in my notebook.
Yeah, I keep, like, a huge thing of just a ton of different colored pens on my desk for whenever I need them.
I'd also, like, if possible, you might want to get 2 notebooks, one like regular size notebook and one like mini carry with me everywhere notebook, because I knew some places I couldn't take a full size notebook, but if I had that tiny one that I could just like shove in a bag, like, where's my tiny one from Ignite? This is the one that had all of my Ignite. Oh,
Mine's
so that's a good
mine's a
one.
little bit bigger. This is the Evernote Moleskine notebook.
Yeah, this notebook's about as big as my cell phone. So whenever I had my purse, I could shove this in with my phone, and I'm like, you are covered. I could put my pen just like that, ready to go. Notes on the run.
The NaNoWriMo merch store actually has a notebook that's really well sized for carrying around.
That's
we're not getting money from them or anything per se, but they really do. It's a really great one. I've been
It's
using
so pretty too.
Yeah, and it's fairly reasonably priced. So.
Let's see. More comments. Shannon says she's planning a YA story about a girl that has grown up hearing voices all her life and finds out it's because she's an alien. Kaylin, and is physically linked to another alien.
That's my jam. That sounds
Kaylin
awesome.
loves the alien.
Yes, it is.
Die Facing Our Foes. For the novel I want to do for Nano, I know my main character's background and motivation really, really well, but I know 0 plot points. I'm hoping it'll be easier to plot, though, because it's contemporary. Most of my projects floating around are some type of fantasy/sci-fi, but I struggle a lot with world building, so that won't be as hard. True. Can't plot on the computer. Less freedom of format. I need to be able to write all over the page in like 20 different directions. That's what I like. My first plot, when I first do it, because I'm thinking too quickly, I can't write that fast. So I just like type it all out on my computer and like, whew, and save, back up to Dropbox, and then I transfer it to my notebook and add more notes more notes in the margins. One that just says bone marrow, sweet, or a bit like Pocahontas. I don't know what that means. Well,
With John Smith.
What? I guess. I'm very confused.
That's my guess, based on what I know about your story.
I mean, yeah, one that says, do I need a romantic subplot? And then scratched out with, yes!
Oh, yeah, we had that conversation.
After that conversation, I'm like, do I need this? And I was like, isn't that your plot? I'm like, that's a good point. That's a good point. That is my plot. So yes, very, very astute to notice. Another comment from Jordan. Working on a dystopian first-person epistolary novel in a futuristic UK where another series of witch hunts begin. I love witch hunts. That has a bit to do with my story, too. Warlock Rebellion galore. Yeah. I've got 13K so far, trying to get it up to 20K, then do the final 50K for NaNoWriMo. Got the whole world and magic system planned out, but plotting is getting to be a major problem. Any advice on making the plot and characters all feel interconnected despite the major point of view characters not meeting until well over halfway through the book? Seems a little disjointed at the times. Okay. We've read books where like main characters are like that until they're like that.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of specific.
I think I'm finishing up a dual point of view book where most of the book the characters are not together, and I think the best thing you can do is try and have them, if possible / where possible, be interacting with the same people or the same setting. So it's like, oh, you said this to that person, they're double crossing you, and all this stuff. Just like it ups the tension when they're talking to different people or the same people.
Especially when the readers know.
And in books like that, I always love like just like the little Easter eggs of things where it's like, you know, maybe the character's walking down the street and they hear the piano playing and the reader knows that's the other character, but they don't meet it that way. Like little things like that where you're like, oh, it's the same world. And,
you're like, just meet already.
Or like one of them, you know, hears news of something that happened.
Yeah.
If they're like in different locations or something and you know that the other character was involved in it or something.
Yeah.
All right, question from Jody that I know the answer to because I've been thinking about it a lot this week. What's the difference between gender flipping characters and writing a story in another person's point of view? Okay, gender flipping characters is literally if you take the same story, let's say Twilight.
Like Twilight.
And you just take the main characters and instead of Bella being a girl and Edward being a boy, you flip it so Bella is a boy now named Beau and Edward is now a girl named Edith. Not as in these characters are like LGBTQIA characters, but as in just like their previous selves have never existed. It's in a different world, and they are now just reversed genders than what they originally were. Writing from a different point of view would be like if Midnight Sun happened, where Twilight was told through Bella's point of view, but if it were told through Edward's point of view, so how he saw things rather than how she saw things. Whereas gender flipping is just like, what if the genders were reversed? Would it still be the same problems? Maybe. Maybe.
Probably.
This question's from, or comments from Esther. For this nano, I'm working with an idea that formed through a dream about a young girl's family is targeted by a creature who sucks people's emotions. Dementor! She said something similar to Dementor. It's just all like, Dementor. I love Dementors in a weird way. It's fine. It's okay. Catherine said she's excited to actually get 50K this round. Only ever wrote 12.1K words in total for a story before this, so will be a major step up. Once you write that 50K, you're like, I can do anything. Fight me, universe. I just wrote 50K in a month. What? Also, you tell people that, they're like, in a month? What? And you're like, yes, I am impressive. Thank you. Caitlin said our comments were helpful. Good, we're so helpful.
Oh.
We're so happy to have been helpful to you, Caitlin. Again, if you guys watching us have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, just leave them below. We'll address them as much as we can. Hannah, good question, wants to know preferred writing snacks / drinks / music. Music, check out Spotify. Check out Spotify for music, make playlists. It's for free. There are the ads, but it's for free.
Yeah.
And drinks and music. Candy. I'd always recommend sweets, water, and tea.
Dehydrated.
Caffeine, though. I mean, sleep is very important, but let's be honest. We're going to need to have that extra fuel in the mornings after a late night writing.
But
because
don't
we still have to go to school, we still have to go to work, we still have to be like fairly normal throughout the month, so you'll need a little extra boost in your step in the mornings. But in the evening, it's all writing all day.
And if you find yourself drinking a lot of caffeine, make sure you also drink a lot of water.
Yes.
We don't want any of you to get dehydrated, because hospital visits kind of
that'll
put a damper
cut
on your
back on your
writing.
word count. You'll be like, what have I done? I need to be in the hospital. I want to write this. And they'll be like, you are dying from dehydration. You'll be like, yes, good point.
And then here's $1 million that you have to pay. So not only are you down on your work, you're also broke. So
Also, dehydration is gross. I've seen it happen to my sister. She just like kept passing out and looked like she was dead. And I was like, this is not fun for any of us. Probably you, the least of all, but for me, it was also not fun.
And like making sure you drink water along with, all the candy and fun. Make sure you're eating meals during the day.
Yes.
And not just like eating nothing but candy. Like make sure you're eating something healthy, like protein and vegetables and like carbohydrates. Like make sure you're getting it.
Honestly, like I love food. Like my love language is probably food. So I can't eat when I'm writing, because if I'm eating, I'm thinking about the food.
Yes.
I get really distracted. I'm like, this is amazing. It's like a Jolly Rancher or something. This is the best Jolly Rancher I've ever eaten. Oh my gosh.
I have to stop and think about this.
Every single one. Also, like you usually need your hands to eat. So like if I have food near me, it'll be something I can grab. Literally, look at my hand. Like grab and shove in my mouth. So like a bag of popcorn or like a bucket of nuts. That was a weird phrase.
A bucket.
Just your average bucket of nuts. Like grapes. I don't own grapes. I don't have fruit money. I'm not rich. But if you have like food that will be like good snack food, also eat real meals. That's important to budget that in. Try to set a timer if you forget. Erica, I literally have timers on my phone for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because otherwise I forget what time it is and that normal humans eat at these regular hours. So
I can't forget to eat. I just
Yeah.
love food too much to forget to eat. Whenever I get people that are like, oh, I've seen this all day, I've forgotten about it. I'm like, what is wrong with you? It's always on my mind.
Like you keep looking at the clock, you're like, is it lunch yet?
Yeah,
No.
I'm like,
Work a little more.
I
Is it lunch yet? No.
And I'm thinking about what I'm gonna eat.
I'm gonna eat my lunch anyway.
Yeah, how long it will take to prepare what I'm gonna eat. Do I need to make something else because I'm real hungry?
we have, Hannah, by the way, said someone needs to write an AU WordNerds high school fan fiction. Don't do it. Also, maybe do it, though. Maybe do it.
Change the names.
Maybe do it. I want to know what people think that I was like in high school, because probably not what you would expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Catherine wants to get some suggestions for writing programs or websites for people who aren't able to download Scrivener. Now remember, you can get Scrivener as a trial to try out for the entire month of November. So if you like it, it'll be awesome. But you can also use free things like if you already have Microsoft Word, or if you're on a Mac, Pages, or even Google Docs. It'll save it to Google Docs.
Yeah.
So it'll save as you're typing it. And again, the biggest PSA here for Prep Talk is make sure you're backing up your work always, and if possible, just saving directly to wherever you're backing it up.
I am actually using Google Docs currently just because I do like half my writing at work because I spend a lot of time at work and not much time at home, and so I don't have my computer with Scrivener on it, and it's also easy because if you are going to be writing in multiple places, you can get to it. And you can even, like, if you have a smartphone, you can have the app on your phone, you can pull it up and write on it. So I actually do really like Google Docs because you can access it anywhere that there's internet and some sort of computer-like device. You can get on it. And it automatically saves it, so I never have to worry about losing.
Yeah, and it's free. We love free.
It's my close second. Like, Scrivener is definitely my first, but Google Docs is, like, right underneath of it. It's, like, 1.2. Like, I use it almost just as much as Scrivener.
Yeah.
And Scrivener has a lot of like plotting benefits, but I've also found this online website called HiveWord, Hive Word, and they actually do a lot of similar things with like note card style plotting, letting you move things around. So I also have enjoyed HiveWord every now and then.
That's awesome. I've never heard of that, but now I'm going to have to look at it. Layla says that this is her first time writing a young adult contemporary. Usually she writes fantasy/sci-fi. Do we have any tips for writing in this genre?
I am in the same boat as you.
Read lots.
Read a lot.
I've been reading a crap ton of contemporary to prepare.
Especially during
a
the
huge
time.
thing. Yeah, I think a huge thing is realizing that just like in a fantasy, how your characters have these really intense motivations that feel very big and very important. It's the same in contemporary. Like we have things that are driving us that feel very major, you know.
You just it doesn't seem like there are when you read a fantasy. Next to that, you're like, you're gonna die, or it's like you might not get the part in the play.
Like in my own life, I have not saved anyone from a dystopian government, but my life has still felt like totally derailed by a really mean rejection or whatever. Like, things can still be really important and really change your character and be driven by their motivations.
Yeah, and I think it's important to, like, if you're doing a contemporary, it doesn't mean that you can skimp out on things that you pay attention. Like, you still need to worry about world building. Like, if it takes place in a high school, you want the high school to feel like a real school. Like, you need to world build just as much as you would. You still need to build your characters as much as you would, their motivations. You still need a conflict.
Definitely characters. Yeah.
You still need a climax. You still need the same story structures.
I'd say definitely to pay close attention to your characters, because for me at least, when I'm reading a contemporary versus a sci-fi or fantasy, the characters are even more important because the stakes, while they're high for them, like if I don't care about the characters, I don't care about the stakes.
And the stakes aren't high.
Like the fantasy, even if I'm iffy on a character, the stakes are so high that I'm like, oh my god, stuff is happening. Whereas like, you have to, the characters are really center stage in a contemporary, so you want to make sure that they're really fleshed out. And I'm not saying that you have to make them likable, I'm just saying you have to make them like really realistic and fleshed out, and
Yeah. Yeah, I'm reading a book right now that I'm probably going to do my vlog about on Tuesday called Writing Irresistible Kidlit. And she has a wonderful section on characterization that has helped me so much in figuring out how to make my characters more realistic, you know, giving them the right quirks and that.
I'll be honest, when you said kidlit, I thought you said piglet. I'm like, what?
Writing Irresistible Piglets.
I was like, where is the piglet? Do you have
All piglets are irresistible.
Haven't you read that book? Writing Irresistible Kidlit?
I was expecting, like, do you have a piglet with you? I saw a video of a piglet who didn't have any back legs, so we had one of those wheelie carts, and I was just like, oh, so I just got like really excited, which is why I laughed. And then when she said kidlit, relax.
Yeah, great book, Writing Irresistible Kidlit by, I think it's Mary Cole is her name, I think.
That sounds right, because I've heard of that book before. Wasn't it mentioned in something? Never mind. I forget.
I heard of it because I saw you add it to your Goodreads list. And I was like, hey, that looks good.
I heard of it. I guess I paused reading it because Piglet, you know, I was expecting something that wasn't there.
More important things to read.
To be Dive-facing our foes. When I did Camp Nano, I was in a musical and had to write 1.5k words after like 9 hours of vigorous tap dancing. I feel that. Vigorous tap dancing every day for me. So Nano doesn't hold the same level of intimidation as it did previous years. That's good. Don't feel intimidated. You can do it.
Yeah.
Manageable bite-sized chunks, and if you write throughout the day every now and then, you can do it. We all believe in you guys so much. And to the 44 people watching, hello. Welcome to our Sunday live chat. We are talking, obviously, about NaNoWriMo Prep Talk. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. We talk about this kind of stuff always.
Yeah.
And also have so many videos. And also, we're really close to 2,000 subscribers, and our 2-year birthday, like, our first...
Like, we're having the party soon.
We're having a party soon, because it's kind of, like, right around now-ish. So... as a birthday gift, it'd be great if you subscribe. You'll get something out of it. We'll be validated that we're helping people and that you like us. And that's all we need in life.
Every day in November, all of the videos on the WordNerds are going to be NaNoWriMo based. So, and you'll see us every Sunday on the main NaNoWriMo YouTube channel.
Yeah, because we're working with the official NaNoWriMo people, which makes us tangentially official. You know, we're like next to the famous people, so we're kind of famous.
Yeah. By association.
Yeah, you know.
We're the people making like weird faces in the background of a really glamorous photo.
In the background, not stroking their faces. It depends on how weird we're getting here. Rather Smart Llama says that they live in a small town with no one else doing Nano. What should I do when my social life inevitably goes down the drain? Well, I don't know. My social life is already in the drain because this is what I do all the time. Make sure you are living life if that's what you love to do. But also, like, schedule in.
Not, please continue living life.
Yes. Yes. But I meant, like, socially living. Like, I'm living life. Like, always do your best to live. But, you know, try to schedule time for like writing and then be like, this is my normal people time when I hang out with normal people, and this is my fiction time where I'm just going to be writing and focusing and work. Like homework, you know? You got to schedule homework before you go and play with your friends. That's what I had to do. Always, like, can I go hang out? And like, did you finish this? I'm like, fair enough. I suppose I will do that first.
But also, at the same time, like, NaNoWriMo is 1 month, so it's okay to say no sometimes when your friends want to hang out just to keep working, because it's 1 month and you have to focus on it sometimes, even if you want to do other stuff.
And November's going to be, like, cold anyway. So,
depending where you live.
It's true enough.
In some places. Not here.
Yeah, it's a bit too chilly outside. I'm going to not. Or, you know, if you have friends who might be interested in writing, be like, you should do Nano. Come and sit and write with me. Or sit down in that corner and read while I write, and then we'll talk. and be humans together. Am I the only one who does that? Like, you have to sit in the corner. I'll get to you in a little. Get back to you. Please hold regular life. I'm doing this. Esther suggests water, juice, Nutella. Do my playlists on Spotify too. Yes!
Yes.
Spotify. Here's NaNoWriMo prep suggestion. Create your playlist pre-November so you're not spending time you could be writing, putting together that playlist. Also, if you're going to do a Pinterest board, start it now and stop it sometime around when you need to start writing.
And then only look at it for inspiration. Don't pin throughout the month because you will waste so much time, valuable writing time, pinning to your board.
It gets dangerous. It gets
real.
It is very real. But juice is also a great suggestion. I love apple juice.
It's practically a fruit.
I have that kind of fruit.
Practically a fruit.
I have that kind of fruit.
It's fruit and candy.
It is. Oh my god. See, I can be healthy and have fun with my juice.
As long as it's juice that's made from actual fruit and not like syrup.
High fructose corn syrup. I think that's the one everyone's like, don't. And I'm like, all right.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
So let me live. Just let me live. Jordan said that our advice was helpful. Cool. You're welcome.
Thanks.
We're so glad to be helping people. If you have a question, ask it below. It's all told the novel, by the way, that she's writing. He is writing. I apologize if I'm misgendering anybody. Call me out on it. Jordan's novel is told through letters/journals, but also newspaper articles. So they're going to have to get characters to read about things other characters are involved in. Oh, that could be interesting. Okay, I'm going to mess up saying this name. I know it. Asia. Did I say it right? Or is it Asia? I apologize. Apologize. Excited for NaNoWriMo because I'm prepared for it, unlike last year. Last year I pantsed my way through my project and my writing was so horrendous I had to delete it when I was about 40K into the story. No!
Don't ever delete!
Never delete.
Never, ever, ever.
Put it in a dark corner.
Yeah, I always, no matter how bad that first draft is, don't delete it. I know it's going to be super rough and ugly to look at when you look at it. Especially if you pants, it can usually be a little bit messier because you're like, we'll figure out where we're going on the way. Do your best to not delete it because usually there's something salvageable there, even if you have to pull it into another window and kind of rewrite next to it. There are usually some really good ideas that you'll have that just need to be like cleaned off, even if that takes like a bunch of scrubbing to get it to look how you want it. Always. Oh, I get so nervous when people delete their work. Only because I've accidentally deleted work, and I'm like, why? So I get the horrendous. You're going to probably have a rough draft at the end of November, but you know what? You'll have something to work with, and isn't that much better than having nothing? Like, I'd rather have a mess than just, like, barren land where it's just, like, a tumbleweed, you know? And you're like, oh no. Now what?
Oh no.
Eloise, by the way, is pointing out someone's TARDIS. I'm assuming Kelly's?
Oh,
I have her right.
Oh, that's true. It's right behind you.
My
There
TARDIS
we go.
is downstairs.
you can't see, but I actually have the exploding TARDIS on my desktop right now.
Perfect. TARDIS. Yes.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
I wasn't sure who you were
Doctor
talking
Who.
about because I know some of us.
I know the exploding TARDIS. I know what the TARDIS is.
I was like, Emma, I really thought you knew that.
Esther, by the way, suggested YWrite, which is the letter Y, write, is a free software similar to Scrivener, so if people are looking for alternatives to Scrivener, there's another one. Check it out. I don't think any of us have tried it, but check it out. Why not? It's free. Ember says that she is working on a novel from another world where the main character sees her body hanging in the forest. She has no idea why she was there. It is ruled I'm guessing that's a suicide, but it's corrected to subsided. And she has to figure out what happened to her along with helping someone else out. If she does not do that, she'll be stuck in the world of the living dead, and it came to her in a dream. I also have a lot of dead people in my books, but it's because they're witches. They're killing people because they're witches. They like to kill people. Die Facing Our Foes says, to your comment on contemporary motivations, as an actress, dying is sometimes preferable to not getting the part in the play. I tend to disagree, mostly because living is usually pretty important. But yeah, it can feel like dying when you don't get that part in a play. Although all the parts I've ever gotten are always the evil person or the funny person. Like the Wicked Witch, who's a little bit of both. Let's see. Stop texting people. Jody says, think I'll write a short fan fiction of the WordNerds and I go into Thunder from Down Under. There you go. Like I said, it's Magic Mike, but with Australians. That's the Down Under part is from Down Under. You know.
I think it's also.
But also Down Under. It's a double entendre. When like got two meanings.
One a literary term.
Word nerds.
Get it? We are having so much fun tonight. Let's see. Eloise wants to know favorite food to eat during Nano. We kind of answered this a little bit ago, but maybe she asked this while we were answering it. So maybe we answered this, but, bucket of nuts.
Grapes, if you're rich enough for fruit.
Grapes, if you're rich, people. Grapes are expensive, you guys. I don't have fruit money. I bought a bag of apples from Target. I'm like, look at me, living large.
Well, Target's fruit is like 3 times as expensive as anywhere else's fruit.
No,
too.
it's the cheapest fruit I can find around me.
Really?
That's
like by far the most expensive here.
Also, all the fruit I've ever bought from Target has always gone bad really fast. All the produce I've bought from them, yeah.
My Target's great then, because I got the 10% off discount coupon for that bag of apples to go next to my bucket of nuts.
Maryland is a magical place.
Come to Minneapolis.
Strawberries for $2 yesterday. I felt very fancy.
Oh, wait, just one strawberry?
No, a carton of strawberries for $2.
Okay. I was like, see, fruit is expensive. If you told me that a single strawberry was $2, I'd be like, I know. I believe you. Because it's expensive. Oh, gosh. I'm just saying. No, Jordan is a he. Okay, I apologize, Jordan. Hello and welcome. We get a lot of female viewers, so I do automatically assume, and I apologize to all of our male viewers. We know that there are male writers out there, and we support you. It's just, we're usually getting comments from ladies, and we love our ladies too. But,
All right, analytics show that 3/4 of y'all are ladies.
Ladies. I'm looking for more comments. Here we go. One from Catherine. Sorry. I almost swallowed my tongue. Catherine wants to know some tips on fleshing out main characters when you aren't exactly sure how you want them to look / how their personalities are going to be.
I heard a tip on this earlier this week that I've been meaning to try out for characters in something I'm currently writing. Just
share.
Blank piece of paper or open a Word document and write out 25 things that no one will ever know about this character. It has nothing to do with the book. It can be anything. And it'll just help you have a better picture. It feels like more like a real person to you, that you know all of these extra things that don't matter at all. And it's super easy.
You know what that reminds me of?
No.
We once did a live chat about using Myers-Briggs personality tests
That was so much fun.
to form your characters. Now, this chat was mostly about, what we were and how, it shaped us, but also how to use it to write fictional characters. But Kelly's right. If you know weird things that have no relevancy to what you're writing, about your character, it is weirdly helpful because you know how they'd react in certain situations where, like, you know, and that doesn't really have to how their personalities are going to be. You might be able to.
It could be how they look as well. Like, there's a birthmark somewhere on their body that is never going to come up. But
yeah, and I think too, if you can figure out just a couple of main things, then you probably have enough to start. If you know what your character wants, like what they're willing to do anything to get, and what your character is terrified of. If you know those two things, you have enough to drive a plot.
Yes, you do, because
fall into place.
Because the thing they want most, take it from them.
Take it from them. Crush it.
And then, like, almost give it back and be like, psych, you don't get it. Just torture them is what we're telling you to do. But also, like, based on characters, like, physicality, how they look, usually in books you don't want to over-explain, because for the most part your reader will try, they're going to see them how they're going to see them, and it might be completely different from how you see them. So pick out like a few physical traits that are important to your character that you might reference once or twice. Don't harp on them. Like, don't every time you mention that character be like, the one with the silver eyes. The silver smoky eyes.
I'm thinking of a book that I, like, right off the top of my head, I know, like, the girl with this trait. I say it like 12 times in the book.
Like, oh, what's that
out
one trait again? Can you tell me? Because I've forgotten in the last couple of pages. Yeah, don't harp on that, but, like, typically you're not going to sit there when you introduce the character and be like, he had broad nose and wide eyes, and he had such thick eyelashes, and his hair was this color and this length, and also he was tall. His arms were like this. He had fingers that were like this, and his stomach, don't get me started. And then his butt, don't get me started. You know, like, you're not going to go through and be like, let's...
supposed to write it?
I've been told that's what Kelly keeps writing in my books. Like, her comments are like, this is wrong. I'm like, Kelly. But his butt, don't get me started. Isn't that all, like,
I feel like you could work that into a contemporary.
I feel like
his butt,
might have
don't get me started.
I feel like some of the drafts that I have started for some contemporaries might already include that. But yeah, you know, you don't have to be very, like, this is exactly what they look like. But if you have a basic idea and describe them in, like, basic notions. Also, it helps for me, like, if I make in my head a slight fan cast of, they don't have to actually be real, like, actors. They can just be pictures of people you find online that you're like, yes, you look like that. Let me put you there. And remember what you look like for when I write you.
Yeah. I put a link in the comments to the live chat we did on crafting characters using tests like Myers-Briggs. So if you wanted to see that, it is there.
We had more comments. Okay. Jody, by the way, says foods that she eats while doing nano: cupcakes, chocolate, cookies, ice cream, cheesecake, oh man, pie,
I'm getting hungry.
Coffee, soda, tea. Yeah. I can't eat most of the things on that list, but yeah. I wish I could. Eloise has a random question. If we each dyed our hair a bright color, what would we pick?
Oh, I think about this all the time.
I do. Erica's done this before.
Have I? I don't recall. Yeah, my hair was pink last year. This time last year. If you look back at the videos, pink.
If you look at the ends of her hair right now, you can see.
Yeah, this is a pink that was dyed over. It was bleached, then it was pink, then it was dyed over like a blackish dark brown, and now it's. People think that I've ombreed it cherry red, and I'm like, yes, let's say this is on purpose and that these aren't roots. It's definitely intentional. Definitely.
I think I would do purple, like really bright purple.
I think I'd do like an aquamarine color. I'm really into that. That or purple, one of the two. I think aquamarine.
Like a mermaid.
Yeah.
Kelly, what would you dye your hair?
The same color as Karu from Daughter of Smoke and Bone.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, bright blue.
That's a good point. That's a cool. Yeah. If that, like, magic existed, I would crazy use that to be like, just let my hair be this color. because her hair just grew that color, and I'm like, I wish. Die Facing Our Foes says, about the whole deletion thing, for one of my previous nanos that I lost, I thought it was complete and utter crap when I was writing it, but when writing, I started over for Camp Nano. I reread it and realized that some was actually pretty good and had some stuff I wanted to implement in the actual novel, even if a lot of it sucked. So wouldn't delete stuff. Yes. There are always things that you're like, this concept is good, let's make it better and lift it out of this mess and put it here. Pretty. Like, you're like an anthropologist. Or like, what's the Indiana Jones one that I'm blanking on? Archaeologist. Thank you, everybody. Where you're like, let's get this bones out of this gross dirt. And then you set it in a museum and you're like, isn't it pretty now?
Well said.
That's why you save things, even if it's like, this is just a pile of dirt. Well, there could be a fossil in that dirt, you know?
Maybe.
So,
Or something to that
save it
effect.
for Indiana Jones. That's the motto. Save it for Indiana Jones. Esther says, when I'm not super sure, I take out the book about personality traits, positive and negative, and skim through it. Usually I come up with a simple short list of traits that feel the most genuine. That's good. I also like looking at just lists of traits. And you're like, yes, I like these. Pick, 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 pick. Like,
You are this.
or Kelly did a video about writing with Sims, you know, like the video game.
Oh,
where you can
yeah.
create characters and everything. So just like, you know, before Nano starts, play some Sims, create your character, give them a personality trait, don't let death get them. Make sure you always put a smoke alarm in their house because, like me, they will stand in front of an oven on fire and just go like, ah! And then they'll die. Just some advice. By the way, have you guys seen all the new stuff for the Mortal Instruments, the Shadowhunters show?
Yes, I saw the trailers. Yeah.
I've seen like 2 sneak peeks of the first couple scenes and then the trailers, and I'm like, I thought I was over you, but I'm not.
But I'm not.
You sucked me right back in. Oh boy. I'm just saying. Megan wants to know if I'm feeling okay. No. Moving on. Eloise. Eloise says, are all of you doing Nano this year or just a few? All of us. All of us are, because in case you missed this announcement earlier, we are all actually working with the official NaNoWriMo YouTube channel, which is like the official people, you know, who run the whole thing. And we'll be doing videos every Sunday over there, along with our live chats here. So Sunday, you get like a 2-for-1. You get the video over on NaNoWriMo's YouTube channel of us talking to you about nano stuff. And then you get a live chat, which will probably be a write-in. And then write-ins during the week. Just November is like the time to be here. If you're going to be here at all, definitely be here in November. And we're going to be together in November, so you'll get videos of us like, physically sitting next to people and be like, look how much taller I am than everybary else.
And look how much shorter me and Kelly are.
I can't wait. I want a bunch of pictures of us standing like the bars, more bars and more places. We're like shortest and tallest, and I'll just be like, hello, I'm at the top of this bar.
Wait, where like your head is just cut off of the picture.
Yeah.
Just like stand like, in front of each other so I can still like look over everybody and be like, hello, I'm still here. Oh, we're just gonna have a lot of fun in November. Is basically what's happening. And
so many plans.
And if you think this tonight is a lot, just wait until I'm going on like no sleep because of November in NaNoWriMo, and we'll be together. Oh, things are gonna go just like off the rails in the best possible way.
Yeah, buddy.
It will be the best and most like busy month this year. Oh, I'm so excited. By the way, Esther says that she used Sims to build characters a few years ago, so see?
It's the funnest.
It
Have you
happened.
guys seen Hank Green on his Hank game, or no, Games with Hank channel? He played The Sims for a little bit, and he made Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter live in the same apartment. It was amazing. For a little bit, they were kind of falling in love.
Yes!
It was amazing.
I would ship them real hard. Perfect. Oh, man. Sims. Is it weird that I like watching people play Sims?
No. I just admitted to watching Hank play.
It's just like, if I play Sims, I don't usually play Sims. I just spend like 2 hours making them and building the house, and then it's like time to play. I'm like, I don't feel like it. Let me just cheat a lot and get $1 billion and then let them do nothing.
My Sims sit around the house and write books, and then I'm all like, I'm a horrible person. I need to close this now.
I need to be doing what they are doing.
This reminds me of something that's relevant to preparing. If you are interested in making like a map or like house blueprints, but you don't want to do it on The Sims, you can use, there's a program called AutoRealm, AutoRealm. I've heard one commenter say that she couldn't find one for Mac, so I'm not 100% sure if it is there for Macs. But it is amazing.
You also did a YouTube video about how to create your own map. So Megan did which by the way I have like saved in my bookmarks because I'm like, you're gonna need this.
Yeah.
Sometime.
And I did a second video on AutoRealm with links to tutorials for that one too, because for fantasy worlds I like AutoRealm a lot better in this experience.
So there you go.
I love map making so freaking much.
I'm not good at making maps. I'm also not good at reading maps. I get confused at directions and maps. But they look really pretty, so I'm like, wow. This book is probably a lot because it has a map in the beginning. Am I going to have to remember these places? I'll reference it throughout the book, which is why I always buy books with maps in hard copy. Not on Kindle. So Eloise just asked when this live chat is ending. I'm going to say pretty soon because we've been going for an hour and a half. And usually we run about an hour and a half if it's a prolific chat as we have been, having tonight.
Yeah. We try to wait until like the questions die down a little.
We're getting a little bit less, but we have 1 or 2 more questions that I'll just go through real quickly. By the way, Catherine said if you want to make blueprints of a house, Homestyler is a really nice website to do that.
Write that down.
Homestyler, one word. Which reminds me of Homestar Runner.
Yes.
I will not do right now. I will not do. God, the internet was so weird before like YouTube was on it. Because it was Homestar and Foamy the Squirrel is all I remember from middle school.
Foamy the Squirrel, oh my gosh.
Did I just send you back?
Yes, you did. And now that's going to be my entire night. It's just looking up old Foamy the Squirrel videos.
It's still there, just saying.
Oh.
Jody wants to know what book we're discussing next. We're not sure. Also, I'm not sure if we're doing
We still haven't
specifically
discussed
for
Aristotle and Dante.
That's
we still have not discussed that one. We have read that one.
I have not read it. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that people know that.
Nano is kind of putting it on hold just a little bit.
Yeah, Nano is putting it on hold, and I don't know if we talked about this here, but maybe we've mentioned it. The WordNerds, we're going to do like a Sisterhood of the Traveling Books.
Oh, it is so cool.
We all have picked up a book, which we voted on. We're going to read it ourselves and then pass it to the next person in the line.
And write notes.
I think this is going to be my video for Thursday, so it's going to be the circulation desk, but we're going to be circulating books to each other.
See? And
It fits.
we'll tell you what our books are. Does anybody remember what Aaron's was?
It's, is it Awake and Dreaming or something? Or The Cure for Dreaming.
There
That's
you
what
go.
it's called. The Cure for Dreaming.
The one that Aaron has. Megan has...
Dumplin'. I've started reading it and it's so good.
Kelly?
I'm reading Insignia by S.J. Kincaid.
Which I'm very excited about. Wasn't that the one that you said was Hogwarts in space, or was that
That's
something?
what I've heard. I know nothing about it, but that's what I've heard. It was enough to make me buy the book. So.
Yeah, definitely. Emma?
I have The Weight of Feathers.
Oh, yeah.
That was about
Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy.
Kayla?
I have Kim, I'm going to butcher the last name, Leggett, maybe? But
Yes.
it's horror.
Which, by the way, I've been seeing like a lot of it.
Mhm.
We actually got it in at work.
Ooh, is it
We
been
got in most of the books that we're reading at work, and I was like, I can't touch them. I can't read them yet.
So the book I have chosen, which I'm so excited to read, but I haven't started it yet, but I'm about to. I'm taking it with me when I go to Pittsburgh. Is The Song of Achilles by Madeline I always mess it up. Madeline Miller, and it's like a retelling of the Iliad, and I'm like, yes, 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 yes. In like a young adult setting, let's do it. I'm excited. So yeah, we're gonna be marking the heck out of those books and then handing it off to people until it makes it all the way around the WordNerds circle and we get our book back. And then I'm sure we'll have chats about each individual book, and whoever's book it is will host that chat and be like, I have all of your notes.
Caitlin and Emma is like, I am just...
That's one chat I think I'll be totally okay, because it's like I'll have Reddit, I'll have made notes, and then I'll have your guys' notes on top of that, so I think
It'll be
good.
very
Those I'm worried about the person who read the book a year ago from the chat.
We'll have to read quick.
Let's do a
Just go through all of the notes, and then like, oh, that clicks.
Also, we're all going to be ending at like the same time. This will need to be coordinated a little better.
It'll be fine. It'll be like once we've all finished everything. Who knows? We'll figure something
We'll
out.
figure it
Maybe we'll do something. It'll be cool.
Maybe we'll do it again with different books, and then we'll give those books away. But I feel like for this round, we're going to feel really attached and want to keep them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm keeping my book. I'm going to be like attached to both the book itself and the notes. I'm like, these are my friends, and they're feeling about this book.
I've already daydreamed about the day that I finally meet Julie Murphy, and I'm going to show her this book that we've marked up, and she's going to sign it, and then we're going to be best friends.
You're like, we've already.
That's how it's going to go.
We're bonding now, so.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, that's what we're doing with our little fun book clubs in the future. We don't know how it will, be handled once we read them.
Scheduled TBD.
Well, you just know that it's happening and that we're pumped about it and that we're tentatively calling it Sisterhood of the Traveling Books. And our first exchange is going to be in November at YALLFest when we're in person. Did we mention enough that we're going to YALLFest? And remember, if you guys are going, let us know in the comments, because maybe we'll schedule a meetup.
Write in or
Can you? Oh. Think about it. A meetup and then be like, and let's get some writing done. Oh my God, Megan, you've opened a Pandora's box.
I did what I can.
Buddy. All right, it's 9:06.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm losing it more than I was at the beginning of this chat, so I'm going to conclude it. Thank you, everybody who has come out tonight to watch us. We are so happy that we've hopefully helped you. Thank you for all of your questions and comments, and, get ready for Nano. You've got 20 days to prepare for it. You got this. We believe in you so hard. Remember that we, the WordNerds, are going to be over on NaNoWriMo's official YouTube channel every Sunday in November. Don't worry, we're not abandoning this channel. It will still be as prolific as, ouch, ow, I hit my elbow. I'm sorry. It will still be as prolific as ever. You'll just be getting so much content in November, so make sure if you're new here to subscribe. If you enjoy these chats and our videos, make sure to also hit the little thumbs up button. It takes a second of your time, and it really just lets us know that you are actually enjoying it and getting something out of it, because we want to make sure that you guys are getting stuff out of this. That's our goal, is to help you get pumped about Nano. Have an awesome week, you guys. We will see you next Sunday. Good night.
Bye.
Don't forget your bucket of pee.